Hi Bruce, good morning. Welcome to Singapore. Thank you for the opportunity to interview you. Could you please share with us to introduce about yourself and your company?
Thanks, Mark. I'm Bruce Lane from GTI Energy. We're a uranium explorer with projects in the United States in Wyoming. Obviously listed on the ASX, but all of our operations are in the US and Wyoming.
Right, yeah. So uranium, I only heard of this term when I watched like James Bond's movie. Where do you see the opportunities in this current commodity cycle?
Yeah, clearly the world's trying to transition away from fossil fuels to cleaner sources of energy. And uranium is the fuel supply for nuclear power, and nuclear power is 20% of the US's baseload power and 50% of its clean energy. But the US doesn't supply any of its own uranium at the moment. So there's a clear opportunity. So we see an opportunity there, which is why we're in Wyoming and we're focused on exploring for and developing uranium projects. But I see numerous other opportunities in that energy transition as well.
Right. With the rush for the whole world going for resource, what do you think are the factors that investors should look at when they look at young junior ASX listed company, resource company?
Yeah, I guess the obvious questions, you need to look at jurisdiction and make sure that jurisdiction is a place you can get things done, because there are some problems in some parts of the world. It's pretty helpful to have a good team that knows how to get through the exploration and development phase and then get into production. That's obviously important. And you need companies that you think can get funding in the future, because often it takes a long time for these projects to get into production, and so you need to be able to fund them through that cycle.
Right, that's very cool. And very straight to the point, 3 factors for the investors to look at. So in one sentence, could you share why should investors invest in your company?
We think our projects are in a great location in Wyoming. It's the largest uranium exploration state in the US. We're also using or targeting using in situ recovery uranium mining, which is the lowest impact, lowest environmental impact form of mining. There's no ground disturbance and no waste. We know that we've got the largest uranium buyer customers on our doorstep in the US. The US is the largest buyer of uranium in the world. So we think that we're ideally positioned with projects that are very ESG friendly in a great jurisdiction.
Right. So Bruce, this industry itself, right, is a very niche industry, and it definitely requires time-tested skills to be able to operate around that. And given your vast experiences, right, in this field, could you share with us like what were some of your biggest challenge and how do you overcome them?
The real challenges are one, getting access to the right properties, the ground to explore on in the right location. That's the first challenge. The second one is finding the right people to do the work, and we've been lucky with both of those things, and we've got a really great in-country team in the US. Despite the fact that I live in Australia, everybody that does the work is based in the US, and they've been doing it since the 1970s and 80s. So those are the 2 big challenges, and then the third one is obviously making sure we stay funded, and that's why we come to events like this, and that's why we have these interviews to explain our story to people and encourage them to get on board and get involved in our journey.
Right, yeah. So right now, right, there's a lot of millennials out there venturing into the finance-related industry, and some of them are working as like analysts. Do you have any piece of advice that you can give to them?
Yeah, look, I think I go back to those 3 things that I talked about before. Get to know the management of the company, make sure their intentions are good, and make sure that their path forward is realistic. That they're in a jurisdiction they can execute, that they've got a project that's worthwhile, and that they know how to keep the company funded, and they know how to get things done. Those are really the key things from my point of view. The commodity, I think there are a few commodities that really stand out at the moment, and I really believe uranium is one of them, but there are others. So picking the right commodity at the right time of the cycle and getting an entry point is obviously very helpful.
Right. Thank you very much for your time today, Bruce.
Thanks, man.